they saw in my eyes, a place deep within me where tranquility lies. I replied, you do, please point it out, for I've been searching so long I was filled with much doubt. I've been to Swamis, gurus, and Indian chiefs, asking them all to fulfill my beliefs. I told them the journeys and trials I've survived to find that place where tranquility lies. I spoke to the priests who taught of the Christ. I have been looking for peace all of my life. The lessons of Jesus I learned deep inside, yet continue to search where tranquility lies. So then to the Rabbi who read from the scrolls, the stories of Moses and teachings of old, the duties and doctrines one must abide to find that place where tranquility lies. Maybe it's in Buddhists. They seem to know how to get in touch with their own inner glow. So I continued my long and wandering search to find where that bird of tranquility was perched. Maybe the monks with their chanting and prayer have the keys to my questions and are concealing them there. Maybe the full moon coming into night sky will show me the circumstance where tranquility lies. Perhaps quiet the mind, go within and become zen, for if I meditate enough, I'll find tranquility then. The mind had become filled with much endless chatter. Does my pursuit of tranquility yet have meaning and matter? Maybe a woman could help me feel whole, if I honor and love her and comfort her soul. Then as I look in her eyes with true love, I perchance will fly with tranquility's dove. Then a brush with creation, a knock on heaven's door, access forbidden and me on the floor. Tears of rejection cascade from these eyes, a forfeiture of hope for where tranquility may lie. Then suddenly the wind, the stars, and the sea commence chanting a chorus of tranquility. Your heart songs, your passions, your dreams you hold dear, will grant evermore your tranquility be near. I'll talk about some. Breathe, everyone, where I invite you to breathe into those words. And just let them in. Many of us have been searching for a very, very long time. I'm always saying it's an inside job. But before we found out about the inside job, how many of us have had a similar journey? Just even a show of hands. Traveling and traveling and traveling out there in the world to find that place where tranquility may lie. I've shared a lot of different things with people. I'm always sharing my story, always talking about the different paths that I have walked. And there's moments in my life where my tranquility seems to evade me, or am I just blocking it? As I look in, I found out the truth of I'm blocking it in those moments. But before I knew that truth, I journeyed and journeyed and journeyed like many of us have. Had evidence of magic along the way. Had evidence of wonderful teachers along the way, like Jesus and Buddha. And those are just a couple of them. Listening to the doctrines of the stories of old, like the part about Moses and all the duties and doctrines we must abide to find where tranquility is. We've learned religion. We've learned the different rules. But have those rules served us? Did the rules of my religion truly bring peace to me? I've had moments of peace in every single line. I've had moments of peace in all the different aspects that I have found throughout the different religions that I have studied, because the masters that originated the messages that some of the religions became a club to deliver the message had the element of truth still in it. So sometimes along the way, the clubs that we joined got away from the message, and they got more stuck in the dogma and the rules. But that essence, that element of truth had been there all the time. It's been in all the messages. It doesn't really matter what religion we choose to be, as long as we can find that message that lifts us up and brings that tranquility into our heart. But again, the search continues. We all have this search. We've been searching our whole lives. And as we come into a new thought, new place, new age place like this, again, we find out that inside is the key. Well, sometimes I don't really like what's going on inside. Sometimes I get stuck in negativity. I had something happen recently that one of the most amazing awarenesses I've ever had. I've been around a lot of brothers and sisters that have been in the programs, be it NA or AA. And I had a really negative thought day. Like I got sucked up in negativity, all the negatives, all the doubts, all the fears. That's what it simply is. It's always going to be the bottom line of fear. And I was trying to explain it to somebody, but in my mind, meaning I hadn't had this conversation with a person yet, and we were talking about negativity, and I know that they were in the program. And I was talking and thinking to myself, well, sometimes when we have a negative thought, we don't want to treat a person as if they're doing that all the time. So it's like I wouldn't treat you like you're still drinking if you're in recovery, and then I got busted on the inside. And Spirit said, what are you talking about, Mark? You fell off the wagon. You've been binging all day. You've been drunk in negativity all day long. And you're taking your own tranquility and pouring it into a shot glass and taking a sip of grief every moment. And it just amazed me because it clicked something inside. It's like I want to start a new group. NTA, Native Thinkers Anonymous. And how many of us would sign up? How many of us are, and I want to stay away from the word guilty, but victim to this? I have been more victim to this than I realized. It's like I talk about the selves and all that, and that's great, but sometimes we have that one self that just complains. And complains and complains and complains. So I'm going to invite you to do something that Dave loves to do, and we're going to turn and talk to each other. Where'd you go, Dave? I'm going to invite you, but this one, does anybody have a timer on them? Philip, do you have something that you can keep literally 30 seconds of time with? I don't want to spend a lot of time here. I am going to invite you to turn to your neighbor and rant, complain for 30 seconds. Only 30 seconds. He's going to call time, and then nanosecond we're done, I want it to stop. Please, just because I will only invite this very, very few and far between. So, on your mark, breathe, get set, breathe, go.
All right, shut up. All right, enough.
Enough ranting. Breathe, 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 breathe. Now, I know there's going to be a little bit of humor in that, but honestly, without the giggles, how does complaining feel? Was it uplifting?
It sucks.
Without the giggle part of it, because there's a bunch of 8-year-olds that just became present too, and I didn't factor that in. But that's okay, because Coyote always shows up, and what do I know? Just breathe into that. Just breathe into that. And just let that be for a minute. Or for however long I leave you there. So a long time ago, I was complaining about my life. I had thought every ounce of magic was all fraud. None of it was real. I was questioning everything, every single thing that went on in my life. It was over a woman too. Yeah, because I questioned every iota of magic in my life because what was happening with us wasn't what the picture was, wasn't what I was being told. So I was saying, well, if this isn't this, then all of my magic is not real. Because we had had so many ethereal moments together, we had had so many things happen that I thought, well, this is real. And it completely set me in a spin. Now, it wasn't the only thing in my life I was processing it all. So I got up one day at 5:30 in the morning and walked down, actually I lived off Grimes Street, or Olive Street, so right down here in Cocoa, walked down River Road, and at the end of Dixon, there's a little park where you can park your car and sit by the river. Well, there's this big broken cement slab that made a perfect place to sit. And at 5:30 in the morning, I sat there and I did not move a muscle until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Wow. Now let's go back to 5:30. I was questioning it all. There was not an iota of tranquility within my soul in the moment. I was angry at spirit. I was angry at life. I didn't believe a damn thing. I was questioning my faith, questioning my magic, questioning everything that I believed in, and ready to throw it all away because it wasn't true anymore. So I sat down there. Now, in Native American, Humblechi means vision quest, or crying for a vision. And there's many ways we can do this in our own lives. And in this moment, I was on a little mini Humblechi, because I've never been able to sit still that long anywhere, much less on a cement slab in the hot sun. But let me take you on a little journey with me this fun day and show you what happened. Because the first part of the morning, my senses were completely discombobulated throughout the day. From sunrise till about 11 in the morning, I was completely blinded by the reflection of the sun on the river. Any angle I turned, it doesn't matter, because it's always going to be reflecting right at you. Completely blinded as I'm pondering and thinking all these thoughts that are, well, complaining to spirit about how bad my life is and how all the magic is not really magic. Oh, by the way, dolphins showed up. Ospreys showed up, because they know that I love their magic and they just wanted to show me. So more and more critters are showing up throughout the day as I'm still complaining with spirit in my head, saying there's no magic in the world. What? So a dolphin showed up, big deal. So an osprey showed up too, whatever. So then 11 o'clock comes and the morning sun shifts to where I'm not being blinded anymore. And I can finally start to see, and I'm like, a second, a moment of tranquility. And then off to my left, just beside me, Ashplund is there, cleaning all the wires, the trees, and the branches that are blocking the wires. And they have a chipper right there. And I'm now deafened until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm blinded from 6 a.m. till 11 a.m. ranting. And then I'm deafened from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. ranting. Oh, and turtles showed up, and fish showed up, and at 2, all of a sudden, it was quiet. And I was like, And I finally have some peace, a moment of tranquility. And then someone came to ask me what I was doing there, and it was hard to explain what I'm doing here, because while I was there, I was turning into a lobster. And baking, because of course all I had with me was cigarettes, because that was the healthy thing to bring with me on a vision quest. So as I'm sitting there continuing to rant and continuing to complain to spirit how all this magic is not even real, a blue heron comes this close to me.
Wow.
And goes like this. And you could have poked my eye out, by the way. I forgot to think about that, because I was like this. This ain't magic. And the blue heron said to me, "Really, Mark?" And it made me stop ranting just a moment and go, all right, then what's going on here, spirit? And then I started asking, and then I started looking for answers instead of just ranting. And out of all the day, 10 hours straight of sitting there in the hot sun, not moving a muscle, I asked this question. I said, how am I supposed to move forward in this? And you want to know what my profound answer was that I'd spent 10 hours in the hot sun? One day at a time. And within 30 seconds, I was so fidgety I couldn't sit still. My answer had been given to me. And it wasn't the profundity I thought it might be. But I had to look back at the day and look at the coyote of all of it, because coyote was there obviously in the morning and the afternoon with the deafening and the blinding and all the critters come up to see me. And how could I possibly deny that magic was there? But in that moment, when I heard the one day at a time, tranquility slipped back in my body. It made me realize that all that angst that I was feeling was just human angst. And sometimes we need to sit down for 10 hours and be blinded, deafened, and had visited by all of my animal friends to let me know that there was still magic in the world. To let me know that the magic still lived in here. I just had to trust it and believe it. And now that I have this other part of me, this other awareness, if I have this negative thought in me, if I have something that is going to take my tranquility away from me, I could start likening it to sitting at the bar and taking a shot. It's like, ooh, what are you doing, Mark? Are you going to go sit at the bar again and take a shot of negativity and keep yourself from your own tranquility? I have dreams. I have heart songs. I have things within me that bring me joy. Wouldn't it be better served? Wouldn't I be better served if I focused on those things? It's very human quality to focus on our pain. It's a very human quality to focus on what we don't have. That's why we have Abraham here on Friday nights. Because the biggest thing that Abraham is always saying is about when we're focusing on the positive, we're creating. But if we're operating from a place of lack, we're creating more lack. And that's just kind of like a base line with them. And when we're operating from a place of lack, we get more lack. Well, if I'm operating from a lack of tranquility, a lack of peace within me, then I'm only going to attract more of that to me. And sometimes I need to just step away from the bar and own that I lost my chip. And I have to go pick up another chip and start all over, day one step at a time, one day at a time. There's a lot of things that I can nurture within if I go within. There's a lot of different ways that we can find this tranquility. You know, the journey that I talked about here is not necessarily a bad journey. Actually, I enjoyed the journey. I enjoyed learning all the different things that I've learned through the different masters, through the different people that taught me the lessons. Some of the dogmas served me because at some times in my life I needed a little bit more discipline than I may need now. Where that discipline comes from within and is self-discipline as opposed to following a rule to be a good little boy or a good little girl. All these different things, I'm always going to say it, this is my mantra, that it's an inside job, that the God self is fine, the God selves are fine, that it's the selves in the middle that will pay attention to the rhetoric, that will pay attention to the lack. That's what's keeping us from our tranquility. So we're going to take another minute, and this time, what I would like you to do, I invite you to look at whomever, pick a different person, pick the same person, it doesn't matter. But I would like you to tell them for one whole minute about all the people you love, about the people in your life that you love. And talk about that for a minute. Go ahead. 10 seconds. Bring it on back, folks. Say thank you to each other. Hugging is allowed. So let me ask you a question. Did that feel different than the complaining?
Oh, yes.
I know you guys sometimes will think I'm crazy, and that's fine with me, but I can see love, and I don't know how to explain it other than I can see love, and the room is really filled right now, and it's moving my heart, because the energy that shifts when we speak of our loving shifts within every single body, and in every single light has shifted from ranting for 30 seconds to just talking about people who you love. We all can take this lesson. I can take this lesson to just simply dwell on Love. That's all I really need. If I just simply think about how much I love the people I love, it happens. I just become calm in my heart. I don't have to do the 3 breathing thing, which is always good anyway, to get any anxiety off of me. But to just sit here and breathe into this. See, I was so crushed on the next to the last line, that a brush with creation, a knock on heaven's door. And I've shared this with you all before, that it was such a heartbreaking thing for me to be denied access, to get told no. Because so much of my humanness mistook it and heard, you're not worthy, you're not ripe. Oh, I wasn't ripe. So I'm still ripening, and we still are. It's like a couple weeks ago when I did the talk, Heaven Can Wait. Mel sang it so beautifully for us. We're walking the planet here. Course of Miracles will share with us that as we walk this planet, we're allowed to walk it with serenity on our foreheads, with the love of tranquility in our hearts, to know that this journey can be a journey of love, that we bring spirit with us the whole time. The whole time. We are spirit. Everything about us is spirit. Fear wants to get in our way sometimes and block our loving from our own selves so that we won't love the next person. And so that they won't love the next person, and then fear will reign on this earth. And it's like, no. We're allowed to say no in this world. Somewhere along the line, metaphysics got confused with no is a bad word. It's a great word. It's a wonderful word. When I say it in the right place. And when I say yes in the right place, it could be the most wonderful word. I always invite people to go to the mirror. I will always invite you to go in the mirror. I invite you to go in the mirror and see your pain and process it. But have you ever looked to see your own tranquility? Have you ever thought about all the people that you've loved in your life, got a cathartic movement in yourself, and then gone to see what it looked like in the mirror? Why not? I challenge you to do it. I challenge you to be in the most loving aspect of yourself and go look at him or her too. Go look in those eyes as well. Go show yourself who you're showing the world. When your God self is up and you feel her or him in you, go look. Let that tranquility hit your eyes. Let those tears tickle you. Let them rinse off all the fear like a gentle rain. And know that all the dreams that you have will keep your tranquility here. Everybody has a heart song. Some of us sing our heart songs out loud and sing them so wonderfully. Some of us have a heart song that we're afraid to sing. I've been afraid to sing. Part of my therapy in the past few years of singing was so that my heart song could come out. So that as I vibrated my heart chakra, I felt the love too. So that I could just walk in my normal life, feeling love, feeling good, letting my heart song sing, whether my voice sang it out in a moment or not, but to give my voice permission to sing when it wanted to sing. How many times have you wanted to sing, but were afraid to? I've been. There's been many times I wanted to dance, but was afraid to, so I'm going to sign up for her Zumba class. That was just a heads up for people.
Could have this corner back here.
Okay. Well, I'm coordinated. This might not look so graceful. But I know it's moments like that and moments like these when I just watch people looking and sharing their love with each other that brings tranquility into my heart. Elmer Fudd shows up too. So. I said next year I'll get dentures. It'll be all good. But when you watch somebody else loving, can you feel that love in your body and find tranquility from someone else's love? That's one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself. And I'm going to also invite you to pat yourself on the back and know that that's an egoless moment. That's a place where you're becoming one with someone. When you can share in their joy with just complete love and sharing, you're giving yourself a gift of tranquility. You're giving yourself a gift of oneness. You're letting yourself do a walkabout in their world. Because remember, we're all connected. It's like we plug in everybody else's pain in our codependency. Have we ever been codependent with love? Is there a workshop for that? It's like we're so willing to jump into people's, ouch, we don't share the tranquility with each other. Share these dreams every single day. If you share your heart song with people, if you share your dreams, if you just share your passions and your goals to one person a day, I bet you that's going to keep that tranquility button mechanism flowing in your body. It's going to help you feel that feeling more and more and more. And if you go to the bar, be aware. You have the choice to put the shot glass down or to take a drink. Just like people in recovery who are fighting that every day, one step at a time, we have the same choice to pick up a chip, say, today, I'm going to start my day clean and sober from negativity. And just honor it. And if you have a negative thought, just breathe into it and go talk to somebody. People who need sponsors to get them through maybe their first 30 days of sobriety really call each other a lot. I mean, I've listened to my brothers and sisters who have been in different programs show me the value of talking it out with each other when you feel like you're about to binge. And I've had some binging lately. I mean, I've shared it with you. I'm getting better of it. I'm getting better. Matter of fact, I've stepped away from the bar. But I had to admit and own to myself that I probably spent a lot of money at the bar in the last couple of months. That along with grief, sometimes negativity wants to come in there and slip right in. And I've talked about this, how it's fear's perfect opportunity when you're vulnerable to go in there and take your tranquility from you. Just keep it over here. And all we have to do is turn right back around and talk about our heart songs, talk about our passions, our dreams, the people we love. The easiest one is to think about somebody you love and go tell someone, I love my sister so much. She just fills my heart. And to tell people that every day, I'm proud of my sister. I love my sister. And that's just my blood sister. Now say that with your other sisters and your other brothers, your children, your parents, your pet. Love is love. There's no judgment where love comes from. There's no judgment on who you're going to love or what your heart song is. How do I know what your heart song is if you're unwilling to play it for me? Mel sits up here every week, sits down behind his keyboard, and goes and puts her fingers down. Can you imagine if she went and stayed up here and just teased us? Which I know. The humorous side of Mel and the playful side of Mel may do that, but for a joke in a moment, she engage your heart song. It's like every time we sing, one of the lessons I've got from a few different people here, including Mel and Julie and Becky, sing with passion, not perfection. Well, I don't care if you're singing for us, singing in the choir, singing a solo, singing your heart song, it's your heart song. Well, sing it with passion and forget about perfection. Because I've been trying to perfect my heart song. You know, you guys never seem to care about it being perfect. You only seem to care about when I'm passionate. And it's taken me a while to get that as well, but I've never had anybody go, you know what, you weren't perfect today. But I've had a lot of people say, man, you were passionate today. I'm like, oh, all right, well, I guess I'm fired from the perfection part too. We all are. We've all been fired. Yay, day off. And the biggest one is always going to be looking in someone's eyes. Allowing yourself to find that place where you're safe and just go there. When words are gone, when thoughts are blank, and all you feel is love, just stay in someone's eyes and let tranquility be with you. I'm talking about something.